So let's just get started at part one. What exactly happened? So I understand that you were restreaming Edwin. I saw your stream.
Yeah, so and I
Mhm.
was in his DMs like messaging him, and I was like, do you want me to just screen share our DMs? I can do that.
Yeah, sure. If you
Me and
want to do
Edwin's.
that, just give me like a full breakdown detail of everything that was discussed to the best of your knowledge, because
Yeah.
I know you didn't record on your end.
Well, I wasn't recording, but I did take notes throughout.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
you took
Yeah.
you took notes throughout of what he was saying.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so what do
So
we got?
so this is during the stream. I donated and said, "Can you answer this question?" Which was basically, "Can you just give a retelling of what happened between you and Babs?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, and then he said, started like calling people out in the chat. So I sent him my Discord tag and said I would call in. And then he ended the stream. I said, "You said you would take callers."
Mm-hmm.
So he said he's not interested in debating. I know I charged a few people, but I'm sorry if I did misled you. And now I took a screenshot of this and actually tweeted it out.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't shared any of the stuff below this though.
Gotcha.
And then I just said I'm basically just explaining to him like why he's like dumb because I like he said give me respect and I'll answer your question, but when I DM'd you and super chatted the question you answered, you already said something along the lines of I've already said all I want about that and I'm not here to please the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, right, I'm not interested in sharing details beyond what I said both yesterday. Oh, sorry, I don't know why that popped up.
That's right.
Yesterday and today. I say if the allegations aren't true, I hope they aren't in quotations, then you need to respond and prove it, or else what am I left to believe?
Mm-hmm.
He says the allegations that me and Salvo were pushy or what? Yes, at this point, that's the only serious, like really serious allegation is what I meant. Edwin, I don't hear anything, but everyone wants a response. I think this message right here is my big mistake, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe my big W, because like I say I don't hate you, but like my response to Salvo being pushy. Yes, explain from your point of view what happened in the car. Uh, or, what happened in the car? Maybe you misread the situation and unintentionally made her uncomfortable. Was it Salvo? Was it just Salvo being pushy? Like all these are potential answers as to why, why maybe the stories are different, but you're just not sharing everything. Like that's what the point I was trying to get across, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are these questions being pushed in the other direction? That should be challenged in the meanwhile. I said because Babs has fully explained what she thinks happened that night, and there's no more action she can take to further prove what she thinks happened. You, however, have like literally done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, not responding makes you look guilty as if you're trying to hide something. And then he says, "Would you still want to call?" So I said, "I'm down anytime."
So he
This
wanted
is
so before you continue, so he wanted a private call with you to explain his side. Is that what was over a
yeah,
period of
yeah,
time? That's what it turned into. Okay.
yeah. So and this is a 1 in the morning, if you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like in bed.
Yeah, I get you.
uh,
Is there anything else in these DMs that is of note?
no, yeah, no, not really.
Okay.
So then, yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you, the call with Edwin, how did it start off?
So it started off. I actually recorded the first 45 seconds. I don't know if you care about that, but I
It
can
it
pull
really
up.
depends. Is it something of incredible note to bring up? Is it anything that's going to be
No,
missing context?
it's just he got like a little mad at me for recording that part out because like I forgot to ask him initially like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, by the way, are you okay with me recording this? And he said no, don't do that. And I was like, okay,
Okay, so that's not important. You attempted to
yeah,
record him. You forgot to mention that you wanted to record him. He said he wasn't comfortable, and you turned it off. That's really it.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
okay. So your recollection of events and what you have on the call with Edwin. What started off? How did you guys start the conversation? What did you
So
guys get into?
I immediately got into. I was like, dude, like, what exactly happened between you and Babs? Like, why are you like being so like mysterious with this? Why won't you come out about it?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he was very careful with his wording because he really did not want me to quote him on it. He was like, I've got to find a better way to word this, even though we were in a Discord call. But he basically said there is a reason she is in every single chat, appearing on every stream she can be in, and being on every space she can be in. Right?
So
Basically,
so
call it yeah,
calling her a cloud whore is what
yeah.
he was calling her initially, and he still
But
stands by that fact in
yeah,
private now.
and he did not want to. He didn't want to say that he calls her a clout whore though, because he was scared of me like quoting him or whatever.
But that's literally
Yeah,
the
yeah,
description of a cloud whore, is that she's in every
yeah,
call, every chat. He basically said it without saying it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, I'm like, okay, well, can you explain what happened between you and Babs from your point of view? Edwin goes on to explain that he only rubbed Babs' feet and it was actually Salvo who his retelling of events. I didn't have the receipts, so I couldn't have pushed him more, which
Okay.
was unfortunate.
So
But he basically,
how I
yeah,
understand the situation is that Salvo was driving. That's at least what I remember. Is that Salvo was driving. He whipped his dick out and was starting to jerk off. Babs kept saying no to them. They kept saying, they kept pressuring her into it. Edwin started rubbing her feet. She was uncomfortable with everything. She put a blanket over her face and then took it off and saw Salvo jerking off, and she was incredibly uncomfortable with that. That's my recollection. Is that essentially
no,
what Edwin
that's not
said?
what he said at all.
No.
He said it started out with the foot rub. Salvo offered to rub her feet,
Mm-hmm.
and then Edwin said, "Oh, let me do it too." And then after that, Salvo whipped his dick out, and Edwin stopped participating in it. He just like stayed quiet. Apparently, he was just like he didn't say anything else. And then, but like Salvo like was being a bit of a weirdo. He said,
which is corroborating the story based around what Babs said, is that Edwin sat there and kind of just let it happen, and Babs was incredibly uncomfortable with Salvo whipping his dick out. So you are saying, according to the phone call with Edwin, that Edwin is confirming that Salvo did whip his dick out and was uncomfortably jerking off to Babs. Like, he was being really weird in the car.
Well, I think if I'm remembering right, he said that he got consent beforehand, but then after, it was just like really weird. He said. Basically.
So the thing is, though, is that Babs is saying that they kept asking for consent, and then she got uncomfortable and was like, "Well, you know what? Whatever." Like, just pestering her. That's the allegation.
Well, basically, Edwin explained later in the call that Babs is basically combining two stories. She's combining the threesome story and also what happened in the car. So she pulls up, like, he actually pulled up this clip. That's why he was, I remember now. That's why he was showing me like his fucking plan or whatever to expose you guys, like the timestamps, is because he pulled up this clip where basically Babs was saying, "Oh yeah, we were in the car and everyone was drunk and they kept pushing me." He was basically saying that the drunk and like sort of pushy stuff where they kept asking for consent was during the threesome, not in the car ride. They said they were completely sober during the car ride and like there wasn't any excessive asking of consent.
Okay, so now the story has changed from there was no excessive asking for consent in the car, but it was during the three-way when she was drunk. Yeah, that's way fucking better.
Yeah.
But so the story's changed is that they were hungover. I was there. I know how fucked up everyone was. I fucking left that house the second I sobered up. And I have to give it credit to Salvo and Edwin because I almost drove home drunk because I did not want to be there anymore. Like it got uncomfortable for me, and I was like, I want to fucking leave. But I credit them for basically stopping me from drinking and driving. But from what I was told, from what I understand, right, and especially on the Keemstar show, Babs, excessive consent all the time, super uncomfortable in the car ride. But now it's changed to excessive consent in the bedroom, but not in the car ride, even though Babs is saying that she was uncomfortable in the car ride still, regardless.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, Edwin is confirming that that he let Salvo be a creep in the car. At the end of the day, that's this conversation, right?
I mean, yeah, but he did probably push back to that. He was like, "Yeah, but that's not my actions. That's Salvo actions."
No.
Like, he kind of just like put it all on him.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But the biggest criticism against Edwin is that he is somebody who has covered these kinds of stories before and he did nothing. And that's why people are upset at him. And he's not grasping that fundamental understanding of it. And that's how I perceive it. And that's how everyone perceives it. So it's okay. It's good that Edwin didn't do anything of a SA allegation or an SA level of things, but it's still weird that he allowed Salvo to do that and not push back on Salvo to be like, dude, you can see that she's uncomfortable right now. Like, I'm even uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, that's the issue that everyone has with the Salvo situation. But Edwin's not getting that. He thinks that everyone is trying to cancel him for doing something in the car. He didn't whip his dick out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then after this, the conversation moved to him like being a bad friend or whatever to Boblax and Nick. And I realize this stuff isn't as important, but
it's important for full context.
Yeah, but I get it. Yeah. So basically, he said that Edwin was not close with Boblax at all. So when Olivia Wang told me that she was or told him that he was basically like playing Bo Blacks, he didn't really care to tell her. And I was like, well, doesn't that kind of
Whoa,
still
whoa,
make
whoa,
you?
whoa, 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 hold on. He was what?
He wasn't good friends with
Oh,
Bo
he was. I
Blacks.
thought you said playing with Bo
No,
Blacks.
no, no, no.
Okay.
Olivia Wang told Edwin that
Mm.
she was playing Bo Blacks
Ah, okay,
and
okay.
that they weren't in a relationship. And then yeah, so yeah,
So she said that they weren't in a relationship.
yeah. Well, yeah. She just said. Well, she said she was just basically playing him, right?
Okay, so she was
Yeah.
just like going along with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. That so he's basically saying I was never really friends with Bo Blacks is essentially what's
Yeah.
happening here, and that
And then
Olivia was never really interested in Bo Blacks.
yeah, he went on like a long rant after that about how like Bo Black supposedly kicked him out of this group chat and made a new one without him.
Oh
And like
God.
it was just really weird. I don't.
It's all that's all petty shit. So
Yeah.
this is the thing. So Edwin says he's not good friends with Bo Blacks, but then gets mad when Bo Blacks kicks him out of a group chat and creates another one without him.
Yeah, basically.
That's retarded. He's upset that a guy he never really cared about kicked him out of a group chat. What is he, 12?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Edwin, be a grown fucking adult.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fucking criticism of the man is that he's acting like a fucking child. Is there anything else of note, Sailor?
Yeah. I have a lot more notes. I'm sorry. There's.
You're good. You're
Yeah.
good. We're going
Yeah.
over everything because it's important that we get everything
This was
and
like
be
an
as
hour and a half
accurate
call.
and be as
Yeah.
I don't care how long it takes, as accurate as possible, dude.
Yeah. So basically, after that, I moved on to like the DM he sent Nick, being like, "Oh, you won't believe what Keemstar said about you." Like
Mhm.
that DM, I was like, "Do you think that made you a back friend?" And he was like, "Well, no, I was just like private shit talking," which was I kind of got like I kind of understood that. Like I do that occasionally, like even with my real life friends. But
Yeah, but the thing
like
is that Edwin took Keem's side during the
yeah,
time frame that Keem and Nick were having an issue and allowed Keem to like make fun of Nick and like berate Nick, and Nick was not like Nick
yeah,
was pissed. He's like, "What the fuck? I didn't even do anything that wrong during the N-word thing." And Salvo and Edwin just dogpiled on top of him. And I think I
yeah,
understand where Nick's coming from, where he's like, "What the fuck do you mean Keemstar talk shit about me?" And that's the only thing he sent. That comes across as snake behavior. That's not just like private shit talk.
yeah. And then he pulls up this moment of Nick's video where he said that like Edwin had talked shit about him. And he claims that allegation came from like Babs told him that Nick talked shit about him.
That
And but
wait, that
like
Nick talks shit about Edwin or Edwin talks shit about
yeah,
Nick?
he was saying that Babs told Nick that Edwin had talked shit about him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does because
Yeah.
there's an actual video showing proof at Keem's house on Babs's phone that Nick released.
Uh, he also pulled that up later. But he was like, "Dude, I'm literally complimenting him. I'm
Oh my fucking god! It doesn't come across as complimenting. It comes
yeah,
across as a stupid fucking copy of Salvo.
yeah."
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was really tired, so I didn't provide a lot of pushback. But
No,
yeah,
I get
but,
you.
yeah.
I get you. I'm just adding what I believe to be the situation. I want to keep hearing what you're saying, but like, there's certain things that I'm like, there's certain things that can be pushed back on. And I know that you were tired and you didn't do it,
Yeah.
and that's totally fine. I'm just glad you're coming to somebody about this. So, what more do we need to know?
So yeah, basically, and then he pulled up and he said also that it was presented in Nick's video in a bad light because he showed that DM, which was made on the 10th of that month.
Mm.
But then after he showed that DM, he played a clip that was from a live stream that was the 5th of that month. I was really confused as to what his point here was.
So
But I mean, I guess,
he has an issue with the framing of the video and the time
yeah,
lapse of the video. It's not
yeah,
the video itself. He just has an issue with the framing, which is
yeah.
ridiculous. But okay, let's continue.
So yeah, then he reiterated multiple times that Babs was drunk. He said he didn't want to. Yeah, that's he. Yeah, I don't. He brought up back up the Babs stuff for some reason. Then, he continued to say, "Oh yeah," and this was the weird part where I think he was. I don't know what his goal with this chat was
Mm-hmm.
because I think he wanted maybe a friend in me, but he was also like low key threatening me. He kept saying, "This is a direct quote I wrote down." I don't know how serious you want to take YouTube, but leaking DMs and private calls is a really bad mark on your reputation. Which was I was just like, okay.
I
And he,
I wouldn't necessarily call that a threat because an example, and that's ironic because right now he's sucking Salvo's cock. Salvo is notorious for leaking DMs with
yeah,
multiple people. So him saying that to you is kind of funny that he's propping up the guy who is directly known for leaking Keemstar's group chat, my own text messages, messages with Nick, like everything, messages with Augie. So Salvo's kind of just BSing you there. I wouldn't count that as a
yeah,
threat unless he said specifically that your channel is being threatened. That was maybe
yeah,
like him trying to be facetiously giving you advice.
yeah. And then he also kept like he he knows that I wanted like the exclusive Edwin debate like for my channel. He knows I wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying like, "Well, I need to know you're cool before I give you the Edwin debate. Like, you can't leak this, so I'll know you're not cool." And then he said, "No," and then he literally said he was like, "I have options. I can talk to that clout route guy anytime." And I was,
The clout route guy. Who gives a
yeah,
shit about what the clout route guy has to say? He's a retard.
yeah. Okay.
He had Steven and Def Noodles on, and those didn't even break 1,000 views. That guy's retarded.
Yeah.
No, listen, Clout Route, I know you're probably gonna be upset with me saying that, but fuck him. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm not gonna press you. Oh yeah, and then he didn't like me sharing the little snippet of our DMs that I did. I explained to him multiple times that it was basically just like I didn't think you were gonna respond. I thought our conversation was over, so I just like put it out there, like because I thought it was funny. And then he was like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna tell you to delete it or anything, but like it does look pretty bad." And I was like, so I just like deleted it because I wanted to stop hearing it. But
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. Is
And
there anything else?
Yeah, so he also like kept continued to like try and like alluding to me wanting to like defend him. He was like, he kept saying, "I want someone to look into this. You can bandwagon, but that won't make you stand out in the YouTube scene." And
He's trying to tell you
I know,
to basically go against the narrative because he
yeah,
thinks it'll help your channel.
yeah, yeah. And then I basically said, I was like, well, it's really hard for someone to like look into this and find the truth if you're not pointing anyone in the right direction, right? You're not sharing your side of the Bab story. You're not doing any
Mm-hmm.
of this. How am I supposed to like? Am I supposed to like read your mind in this? He was like, "No, but you just gotta look at her behavior and decide for yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta look at her behavior." That's what he kept saying.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. So he said that he reiterated that a lot of the stuff Nick Dioria was hearing was like fake shit Salvo like put out there, but like that he was never making a video. But then he showed me those timestamps, and I was like, hold on, aren't these timestamps for a video? He was like, well, yeah, but I'm not really gonna make it for a long time because it takes a lot of like effort to make the video. So I was like,
Okay.
I don't know, this is yeah.
Okay. So right now, from what I understand, Nick has been getting fed information that Salvo has been propagating. That's at least the allegation that Edwin has said to you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on top of that, he does have timestamps for a video, but he just thinks it's going to take too much time and not be worth it. Is that something
Well, no,
else?
he's making the video. He just doesn't want to make it right now. He was like, I'm just lazy and I don't want to do it.
So he told you specifically he is making the video?
Yeah, he said eventually I'm gonna make it, but not right now. Like,
Okay.
he's not in the process of making it.
So it's on the docket to potentially make the video.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Is there anything else of significance, importance that we need to know?
I just got a few last things here. He said that his Marilyn Manson, like, he kept like kind of sucking his own cock. He said his Marilyn Manson videos were rock solid despite the popular narrative, and that because his uploads were always so in detail, that's why it's gonna take a while for him to get these Nick and Keem videos out. He kept reiterating to me that Repzilla versus Babs on Now Recording was a much watch, and this is a direct quote. He said, "Watch how Babs acts and how Xylee instantly agrees with her." And I was like, "Yeah, that's it."
That's literally it from the phone call with Edwin. Those are the main points. There's nothing else of note that I need to know about.
No, that's basically it.
Okay, so I wouldn't count necessarily that Edwin threatened you, because I know you told me that.
Well,
I yeah, I would
yeah, I know.
I would just be careful, because I don't think he like threatened you directly. Necessarily, he just made it sound like a threat. I'll be honest. It sounds a little weird that he's like, it's not good for your reputation, which is ironic because he's now backing up a guy who does that sort of thing, and that is his
Yeah.
reputation. So Edwin's projecting onto you, and he's just scared. He's just scared people are going to leak shit, which, to be honest, this was a mistake on his part to talk in general. I do want your permission. I know you said you don't want to be involved that much. If the situation escalates, do I have your permission to potentially publish this call or the information that you have given me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
If you could also just pass these
Mhm.
I mean, I guess Nick and Diorio would probably want to see like the timestamps, maybe. I don't know. I
If
don't care.
listen, if you give me permission to send
Yeah,
those
I
over to
don't-
Nick, I will have that conversation with him.
Yeah, sure. I don't care if you like send these to any
Mhm.
like creators or anything. I don't know.
Lit-
You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to pressure you, man. If you feel uncomfortable
Yeah.
with that, it's totally fine. You could say no right off the bat. But realistically, this shows a pattern that Edwin doesn't want to actually have a conversation. The story that has been propagating around has differencing things that Edwin's saying versus what he said publicly. Then on top of that, he's also trying to silence people, in my opinion, especially with you being like, well, if you leak any of this, it's not good for your reputation, which, dude, this is the commentary community. Shit like this happens all the time.
Yeah.
But the thing is in an effect that Salvo has done those things, but he backs that horse. So he's being a hypocrite again. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this, Sailor. I'm glad that you were able to communicate with him and you took the notes necessary. And I thank you for coming to me, man. You didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I plan to. I'm like go ahead and release it, but like.
But in the context that Edwin continues to dodge everything and continues to propagate this narrative that he's not making the video, but he is making the video, because I've been told that some people just talk to him and he's saying he's not making the videos at all.
I mean, yeah,
which is a lie.
Yeah, it's just weird. Well, yeah, because you can see it here at The Receipts volume. It's volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you volume 3, the Keemstar conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
I just want your permission if we do decide to go public with this, that you are comfortable with it. That's it. I'm not trying to pressure you, man.
I mean, the only thing is I just don't want to like deal with Edwin. You know?
Well, the thing is that you're not going to have to deal with Edwin. And to be honest, Edwin doesn't have any pull in this anymore. If you have you noticed that his viewership's not there? People don't support him anymore. His live streams aren't as impactful as they were. And to be honest, even if he does do something, people will back you up for coming forward with things. So it's entirely up to how you want to play it. If you're comfortable with people taking this public and the information necessary that you have sent public, that would be good. You know, it's better than trying to sweep it under the rug, especially with something like this.
I didn't write this down in my notes, but a funny thing was like he just kept saying like, "Oh, be a human, like be a human, like I'm a human. You don't want to leak this,
right?
You know, that'll hurt me."
I get that, but the thing is that Edwin's totally fine with like leaking text messages from Keemstar. He's fine propagating somebody and propping up somebody who leaks messages. So when he says that to you, for me, it comes across hypocritical in that he's just afraid of somebody actually getting the right information out there, or at least his narrative out there that he's refusing to talk about, which is kind of ridiculous, especially with a situation like this that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Sailor? You know, you're more than welcome to always reach out to me about, you know, talking about shit like this. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. No. That's kind of all I had. Thank you for taking the call.
Dude, of course. If you hear anything else, see anything else, let me know. I'll be glad to take your call, bro.
Of course.
If you made it this far into the video, thank you, Assistant Sailor, for coming forward with everything, especially with the information that we now have. Edwin, the reason I'm uploading this is because you have not only been a bad friend to the people who really cared about you in this community, you've also been talking behind the scenes and not addressing the things that you need to address. It's a shame. You and Salvo are made for each other, man. I can't believe I gave you the benefit of the doubt in the DMs at one time. That's what it is. Sucks. See ya.